Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome everyone. Story time today from the files of Adventures in Card Dealing. I have 3 random stories to share here. They're a little shorter than usual, as I don't have the financials on them or remember all the details, so they wouldn't really make a good video on their own. But 3 of them together, that'll work. We have a win story, a loss story, and a silly story to share. So I'll sprinkle in some stock photos throughout. First is just a standard yard sale purchase, or at least they were standard for 5 years ago. I used to get up every Saturday morning and drive around to all the local yard sales that had mentioned, sports cards or sports collectibles. I actually didn't do this very long, as I got the occasional big hit here or there, but overall I didn't do very well, and most of the time it was just sort of a waste of my Saturday morning. So, but this one in particular was one of the hits. At this particular yard sale, there was a large pile of cards, something like 10 to 20,000 cards, all junk wax era stuff. A guy was asking $100, which it was most likely about a fair price. I skimmed through it for a few minutes and decided that there was probably not much value here, but at $100, worth the gamble. You never know. I get home and I start rummaging through cards, and it's really nothing exciting. There's plenty of star cards and rookie cards, but it's junk wax era stuff. So a lot of 25-cent stuff and dollar cards, that sort of thing. Really not much more than that. But then I find a random stack of 20 Derek Jeter rookies. They are all the 1993 Upper Deck. It's a bit out of place. The collection wasn't sorted in this sort of way where cards were grouped together like this, but for whatever reason, there were 20 of them next to each other. Nice. It's maybe a $10 card at the time, so I got $200 worth of Jeter rookies here. Okay, cool. They're not gem mint contenders, but I checked recent sales to see if the card's worth getting graded if it were to come back, say, an 8 or a 9. And, the prices they were fetching at the time, it was not worth it. But when I'm checking the pop report, I noticed there is a gold variation, which I was not aware of. You could only get the gold version in set form, not in packs, and there was only 1 gold set per set case. They're roughly 50 times rarer than the standard cards, and of course sell for a lot more. So I checked the cards, and I can't even figure out what the gold version even means. They just all look the same to me. I go online and I research it a little bit more, and I figure out the only difference is the little hologram on the back are gold instead of silver. Depending on the light, you often couldn't even see the difference if you're looking at it with your own eyes. But I find some lighting where I can tell the difference, and incredibly 8 of the 20 were the gold hologram versions. I had to double and triple check this because, as I mentioned, it can be really hard to tell the difference, but indeed it was 8 of the 20. I ended up sending 5 of them to PSA. I got 2 9s and 3 8s. I kept one of the 9s for my personal collection, still have it today. I sold the other 4 graded copies and the 3 ungraded copies for I don't remember how much, as this was years ago, and I didn't keep records on this one. Probably a few $1,000s, which of course is a great turnaround on a $100 yard sale buy. The PSA 9 copy that I still have is worth around $2,000 today. The next up is a missed opportunity and a big one. I was working with Jeremy Dotson, and we were in Las Vegas, and we had rented out a hotel conference room to meet with people about buying their collections. We were actually scheduled to meet with a whole bunch of people, and actually did buy quite a bit that day, did fairly well, but the headline is definitely not what we bought. One of the people we met had 20 1969 Topps baseball unopened cello packs. He was asking $200 a piece. That's a total of $4,000 for all 20 of them. This was maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and at the time I was not familiar with these. If you have never seen them, the cello packs from this era have absolutely no markings on them whatsoever. It's not like a wax pack where you can make some sense of it. This is just a clear piece of plastic sealed on the back. Literally nothing beyond that. No writing, no label, nothing. I assumed that the cards were just sealed in plastic by someone after the fact. I mean, look how easy it would be to just, gather 10 commons, get a piece of plastic, maybe some low-end sealing machine, and make these all day long. This is what I was concerned about. Jeremy and I checked our phones to see if there were any completed sales on eBay of 1969 Topps cello packs, and indeed there was one. It was graded by PSA, and it had gone for, over $1,000, and it looked very similar to this one. But I just wasn't confident that these packs were good, and to be honest, I don't know how PSA could be sure of it either. The seller was a very reasonable guy, easygoing, definitely seemed on the up and up, but he didn't really know anything about the packs. He didn't know their history or anything, so we decided to pass. I just felt that $4,000 was too much to risk to find out that these cards, were fake. We took some pictures of the packs and told the man we might call him back tomorrow if we changed our minds. We texted the pictures to some dealer friends of ours and asked for their advice, and they all sort of said basically the same thing, that the packs look good, that they can't be sure without seeing them in person, but most likely they were original 1969 top cello packs. So I was still not willing to risk $4,000. I think Jeremy probably was. He's more of a risk taker than me. But we decided, why don't we just buy 5 of them? We'll do that and send them to PSA. That would be $1,000 plus grading fees. I'm willing to risk that, and there's a lot of upside. We call the man back, but he's already sold all the packs. He met with another dealer shortly after us, and that dealer bought all 20 of them for the full $4,000. Oh, okay, too bad, but I don't really think anything of it until Jeremy gets a call from a dealer friend of his, a different dealer friend, and he asked Jeremy, "Did you guys pass on those 1969 cello packs?" And Jeremy says, "Yeah." And it turns out Jeremy's friend had bought them for $4,000 and flipped them the next day for $20,000 to another dealer, basically $1,000 a pack. That dealer's plan was to send them all to PSA, and he was hoping to roughly double his money when all was said and done. Which makes sense, as cello packs from 1969 and PSA holders, they sell for $2,000 plus or so. All stuff we sort of learned that day. I don't know how it turned out for that second dealer, since it's not someone we knew. Most likely he sent them to PSA and did extremely well, but it's possible PSA didn't grade them, thought they were tampered with or fake, and he lost big. But at a very minimum, we could have bought the packs for $4,000 and flipped them to that guy for $20,000. Ouch, big time missed opportunity. Spending $4,000 on something that could be worth basically zero is tough, but had I sort of recognized the upside more, I probably would have taken the gamble. Now when that, no intro, I'll just tell it. I get an email, this is a number of years ago, from someone who says he has a complete vintage baseball card set, high grade. He's done a ton of research on it, and the set's worth about $30,000. He's looking to sell it for around $20,000. That's all the initial email said. Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's dive into this a bit. So I email him back and I say, very cool. What set is it, first of all? And it's got to be pre-war, or I guess it could be early 1950s to be in this sort of price range. And I say I need that information, and which cards are graded, what grades are they, which grading company, a full breakdown list of this sort of stuff I'm going to need. He sends me a full Excel spreadsheet with every card listed there one by one, and again says he's done all the research, and the total breakup value is over $30,000. I open up the Excel sheet, and the first thing of note is the set is 1981 Topps baseball. Well, that can't be right. That's maybe a $50 set. Today it's maybe a $100 set. It's got to be a typo. 1951 would make some sense, not 1981. But indeed, it's 1981 Topps. This just can't be. I scroll down the list and notice that it appears from his notes that every single card is a PSA 10. Well, hold the presses, I have no idea what a complete 1981 Topps set where every card's a PSA 10 would be worth, but on the surface, multiple 5 figures is certainly believable. There's over 700 cards in the set. Even at just $50 a card, you're well over $30,000. So suddenly we're back in business. But I look a little closer, and a lot of the prices just don't seem to make much sense. I go into the PSA Pop Report, and I see that there are cards in the set that are Pop 1s, and there are even a few cards that have never been graded a PSA 10. So something is obviously not right here. They can't all be PSA 10s. Some of these don't even exist in a PSA 10. So I get him on the phone and I say, what are the exact grades of all the cards in the set? And he says, oh, nothing's actually professionally graded. And I said, well, why did you put PSA 10 on the spreadsheet? And he says, oh, they're really, really good condition. They would all grade PSA 10s. And what he had done was go on eBay and search each card one by one and found the highest ever sale price or asking price of that card in any grade and used that as the price on the spreadsheet. So, for example, for this Lance Parrish, which is worth 5 or 10 cents, he had found an eBay sale of a PSA 10 that went for $103 and marked it on the spreadsheet as $103. He must have put in dozens of hours doing this. So I explained to him just a couple things as a courtesy. Obviously, at this point, there's no deal being made here, but I tell him, you can't value ungraded cards as if they're PSA 10s. First of all, it costs a lot of money to get cards graded, and second of all, very, very small percentage of cards graded 10, especially cards that are 40 years old. Realistically, the most somebody's going to pay you for this set is say $50. If you were to get some of the cards graded yourself, you might be able to increase the value that way, but without grading the cards yourself, $50 is really probably the best you're going to do. He definitely did not believe me. Probably thought I was trying to scam him some way, but the call ended, and that was it. In summary, he had overestimated the value of his cards by a factor of about 600. So that's it. 3 more from the files of adventures in card dealing. I have a bunch more stories to share in the coming weeks, including some bigger deals. So please thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed. Stay safe, be good, and see you again next time. Thanks, guys.